Hello and welcome back to the channel. A couple of months ago I took out a 1996 British Racing Green MX5 for a drive owned by my good mate Mr. Stephen Lee. And today I'm taking out another NA generation MX5, this brilliant black version, also owned by Mr. Stephen Lee. Because why have one MX5 when you can have two? This first gen MX5 has undergone almost a full nuts and bolts restoration by Steve. He picked this up just around 2020 and we all know what happened then. And basically, because he had a lot of spare time on his hands, he decided to take apart just about everything. And whatever he could clean, he would. And whatever he couldn't clean, he'd replace. End game is that we have an MX5 which has about 170,000 kilometers on it, except it feels absolutely brand new. If we take a look at the interior, for example, Steve's reupholstered the seats, he's put a new steering wheel, new gear shifter, which also has a short shifter on it. He's put in a new dash, new door cards, just new absolutely everything. And in the end, it makes this car feel like it's just rolled off the factory floor. It's actually pretty amazing. Inside the engine bay is just the same as the interior. Whatever Steve could take apart and clean, he did, and then what he couldn't, he replaced. And that has resulted in an engine bay that's almost good enough to eat out of. Suspension wise, this car's rolling on Teen Flex coilovers, which Steve wanted to use for an OEM plus feel rather than a sort of razor edge track focus car. In his words, he wanted a little more low whilst not getting rid of any comfort. And you've got to hand it to Stephen, he has done an absolutely fantastic job of setting this car up. We're obviously now going for a drive. I've got the windows up so you can hear me, hopefully you can hear me anyway. And it's actually a really comfortable place to be. The exhaust is nice and fruity, but it's not overbearing, as you're about to hear. The coilovers are doing a fantastic job of keeping this car calm and composed. I thought they might be a little bit crashy. In the BRG, they're certainly very stiff, but once again, it adds to the sense of occasion with that car, so you kind of forgive it. Wouldn't really want to have to deal with it day to day, but it's certainly nothing too bad. And here's an example of the exhaust for you. So this is all in cabin. See, very nice. It's not overpowering, not overbearing. You just then knock it down into fourth or fifth and she's calm. Like, it's just really nice. It's fruity when you want it to be, and then it's quiet when you want it to be as well. So I think Steve has struck a very good happy medium there, that he didn't want this to be as loud as his BRG, but he still wanted it to have a little bit of character, and I think he's done a good job of achieving that. Steering is really nicely weighted as well. This Momo wheel is such a joy to use, and considering it's brand new, I mean, you're looking at the gauge cluster, it says 174,000 Ks, and yet this car is just absolutely spotless. I think my MX5 I've done about 52,000 kilometers, something like that, and it feels positively grubby in comparison to this. So I figured you might like to hear what it's like with the windows down. So we'll just do a quick little acceleration test. So yeah, it's got a nice note to it, I think. So I'm not really sure what else to say about this car, really. Stephen's left me a little bit speechless. I knew that he's obviously a guy who takes great pride in his work, and I knew that he spent a lot of time restoring this car, taking everything apart and cleaning it, but I don't think I was quite prepared for just how clean it really is. I mean, just sitting here now at a set of lights, and I can appreciate all the surfaces are so beautifully clean and tidy. Everything is just crisp and brand new. As I said just before, it really makes my car feel grubby in comparison. And then when you start driving it, it's just as lovely. I mean, it's very well sorted. It's not crashy. It's got a nice note. The short shifter is a joy to use. It's not as aggressive as the one in the BRG, but it's still got a nice heft to it. It feels solid. There really is just something about this first generation MX5. I can't put my finger on it, but it's just lovely to get out and just go for a drive any speed, because I mean, these things aren't in a hurry to get to 100 kilometers an hour, but the journey there is a lot of fun. I just love the relationship of the gas and the clutch. You end up just changing gear for no reason. It really is just such a joy to operate and to be a part of. You hear that throttle crack open. It's just intoxicating, really. I know I was talking about it before, but I want to talk about it again. The teen coilovers that Steve has put in here, he put it in because he wanted to change the aesthetics, he wanted it to be lower, but he didn't want it to be as aggressive as with the BRG, and I think he really has achieved that. I've never driven a car with teen suspension before, so I didn't really know what to expect, but to be honest, it's really nice. I mean, I'm now on an 80-kilometer road, it's pretty well surfaced. It's so comfortable. It feels like it's dealing with the bumps really nicely. So if it's not obvious already, I absolutely love this car and what Steve has done with it. I think he's absolutely nailed the restoration of this 1995 MX5. So Steve, kudos to you, mate. Well done. Now, if you've been watching this and you're thinking, I wouldn't mind owning that car, well, the good news is you can. Because as at the time of filming, Steve's actually selling this. So I'll put all the links in the description below so you can go check out the car, get in touch with Steve, and if you're in the Sydney area, feel free to give him an offer. To be honest, this would be the perfect garage mate for my NDRF, and as tempting as that is, it would cost money and probably my marriage, so probably best I don't do that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Steve, for lending me the car for the morning. It's been a blast to take it out. As I said earlier, there's just something so special about these first generation MX5s. I can't put my finger on it still, but it's just so enjoyable to get out on a day like today and just have a blast. So Steve, thank you so much, and also thank you to you guys for watching. If you've enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.